right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well. And also honor and salutations to those of you who are of the hopeful elect and are out there teaching the word of sincerity and truth. All right, so today I wanted to talk about it started out as a splinter off of the show that I did about looking for pity. All right, and what was that show called? I can't remember what I called it. Bear with me for a second. Can't remember what I called it. It was called, yeah, You Are Not a Victim. All right, and the intent of it was to say, regardless of what you're going through. Matter of fact, regardless of what you're going through, you gotta find a level of perseverance to get to the other side of it. What is that? Is it Second Ezra? No, it's Sirach. Let me see. Pull up another one while I'm thinking about it before I forget. Yeah. This is Sirach 2:1. It says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble." Right? And this was the message, right? No matter how hard it gets, right? You constantly endure. Matter of fact, it's hard to click on words in this site. Let me just do it this way. Endure. Now, suffer, which is powerful, right? Because this is what we're going to talk about a little bit. Something painful or difficult. Right? And here's the caveat, or here's the important part of that. Patiently, right? It seemed impossible that anyone could endure such pain. Remain in existence, last, right? Like if you last for a long time, right? Endurance, that's what endurance is, to last a long time, right? So really this is the duty, right? And I think where people make the mistake is they think that lasting or that constantly enduring only has to do with you being on the highways and byways. But no, this truth is not about only the work we do, right? I like for instance, if you look, this is how you should look at the being in the truth and being out on the highways and byways and doing your sit down lessons. This is how you should look at it. It's your profession, right? It's what you do for a living, right? But when you're off of work, right? For us in the truth, when you get off of work, that's when all those things that you speak about and all those things that you try to teach others, that's when they start to come into play. That's when they're important to use. Your life is the truth, right? Being out on the highways and byways is just our job. This is just what we're commanded to do. But the things in your everyday life are things that you have to endure as well, right? Because there are people out there that like to make excuses for their shortcomings, right? That like to complain about the things that they're being put in, right? When they're only being put in those things so that you can learn how to work that muscle, if you will, right? Like for instance, right? If you look at all your woes and troubles as one being the bench press, one being the lat pull down, one being the shoulder press machine, one being the rowing machine, right? All of those different things are going to work a different muscle, right? And these are the troubles that we go through, right? There are some things that we're going through that we got to work on, right? So the Lord puts us in certain situations so that we can work on certain things, right? Uh, excuse me. So this is an every not I was gonna say an everyday thing, but not just an everyday thing, an every moment thing. And every moment you have to think towards enduring, right? Stop making excuses for yourself. And the perfect example of that is the Lord Yahweh Shai. What if he took the stance of I I'm not gonna do this because they're not even listening to me, or if he took the stance of this is too hard, I don't have a place to live right now, right? Don't the scriptures say that? Let me see. What is that? How does that scripture go? Let's see. I think that's how it goes. Let's find out. Um, let's see. Oops. Yeah, Luke 9 and 58. Oops. Luke 9 and 58. It says, and Yahushua said unto him, foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man hath not where to lay his head. Right? What if he said, "Oh, I don't have nowhere to even. You ain't even provide nowhere for me to lay my head. I don't want to do this no more." There are people out there that make these types of excuses. I don't have this. I don't have that. I can't do this. I can't do that because of this is happening to me or that's happening to me. There are people out there that make that stance. They have an excuse for every fucking thing in their life. Everything. Not, let me pick myself up, right? Let me pull my pants up, tighten my belt, and get out there and push through this thing. Let me find a way through this thing, right? And you know what? I'm gonna just say it, man. There's a gentleman that comes out that listens to us, and I mean he knows the scriptures, right? But he's for every shortcoming, he has a reason why it's happening to him. I asked him, simple question, bro. I said, hey, brother, because he's always telling these animated stories about things that he goes through on the highways and byways, and I just want to see what you're doing to handle certain situations, right? I want to see it. Is it something I can learn from? Is it something I can teach you, or what, right? So I asked him, what channel do you put your camp videos on? Oh yeah, I can't put my camp videos up because I read on my phone, and I gotta hold the sign because I don't have nothing to make the sign stand up, so I gotta hold it, and I can't lay it on the ground because if my foot is too big and people can't see the sign, and he had 14 excuses. All I was just asking him what channel you put your shows up on, right? So you got people that are not willing to go through pain to do this thing. They think just by going out on the highways and byways, that's it. That's it. That's you're doing the bare minimum. That's all you got to do. No, man. Your life is, and I can't stress this enough. This is Jordan Peterson's quote, so I don't want to take credit for it. But your life is set in suffering. It's set in suffering. What are you going to do to make the suffering worthwhile? Are you gonna push through that suffering, or are you just gonna sit there and have 155 excuses, right? Well, I can't afford another phone right now. All right, well, how'd you get that phone? Well, okay, this situation. Okay, well, how'd you get those shoes you got on? Oh, this situation. All right, well, you made a way to get those things. Make a way to get something, a little. You can get a cheap little burner phone. All these smartphones got cameras on them. All of them. If it's an argument of, then he said this phone right here only got 48 minutes of recording time. Okay, so record for 48 minutes. And if it's so well, I didn't want to do that because I stay out there longer than 48 minutes. Okay, so stay out there longer than 48 minutes. It's just going to only be 48 minutes worth of a show, right? And I didn't mean to make it about him, right? Because the last show was about him, but you know, have some passion about what you do. Stop trying to wiggle out of it or make it easier for yourself. That's what I tell my son, my oldest son. We've been working out every morning. So I tell him, I said, look, man, you trying to put your body in an orientation to make it easier. Stop looking for it to be easy. It's not going to be easy. It's hard. This is hard work. This is difficult what we're doing. So stop trying to make it easy. It's not going to be easy, right? So that's the mentality you have to have. It's not going to be easy. So stop trying to make it easy, right? And this is the stance that the Heavenly Father. This is the stance that Yahweh Shai took, right? Let me see. Where did I want to go? This one. This is Second Timothy's. Let me see. Start right. I'll go right to 3. This is 2 Timothy 2:3. It says, "Thou therefore endure hardness." Right? What do you think that means? Right? Let's find out. The quality or condition of being hard. People complained about the hardness of the chairs. Right? So it's just hard, man. It's just difficult. The truth isn't easy. But you know who understood that? The Lord Yahweh Shai, man. Let me see. Let's go to this word endure. It says endure hardness. I hope it just shows me endure. To suffer. There goes that word again. Endure evils, hardships, troubles, to be afflicted. I'm getting aggravated. I'm getting aggravated because I just thought of something else he said, but it says, "No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life," right? "That he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. If a man also strive for masteries, yet is he not crowned, except he strive lawfully. The husbandman that laboreth must be first partaker of the fruits. Consider what I say, and the Lord give thee understanding in all things," right? So the point being, right, these things are going to be difficult. It's hard, man. It's hard. Your life is hard. Life is hard, and you got people that one statement I've never liked is, "Oh, once I got in the truth, my life started to suck." No, your life got better when you got in the truth. Your life didn't start to suck when you got in the truth. What kind of statement is that? "Oh, I was going through this. You was going through this and that before you got in the truth." Everybody goes through something. The task of a man is to find a way to get it done, no matter what the something is. That's your task. Find a way to do it. You're gonna be tired. You're gonna be dozing off when you're driving. But that's your life. That's life. Figure it out. And I was taught that not only by the scriptures, but I had a live example in the Elder Adama. And I probably told this story before, but I had to I had bought a car that had navigation in it, and it needed to be um, unlocked. So when I bought the cars, from one of the mom and pop shops that sell vehicles, they get them from the auction. So the navigation wasn't working, and I had to get it unlocked, but I needed the serial number off of the CD-ROM in the back. And I told him, like, yeah, they saying I got to get the serial number off the thing, and it's in the trunk and I don't know where it is. Man, he got so mad. He got up and he started taking that liner off the inside of the truck. I mean, off the inside of the trunk. And he looked at me. He said, "You know, I never done this before." and I could feel him, man. I felt him, man. And what he was saying was, "Look, man, figure it out. Just do it. Just do it. You're never gonna know what the ins and outs of a thing are unless you go through it and figure out how to do it." So me myself, from learning from that man, I have a low tolerance for people that make excuses. And I have a low, and most men do. Most men that live their life understanding these things that I'm talking about, they have a low tolerance for people that make excuses for things, man. All right. So, let's get into the Lord Yahweh Shai and see what type of man he was. If he made excuses. What was this? What was this? Why did I have this open? I don't remember. Oh, 9:50. Luke 9:58. What was I reading? Ah, okay. So let me I'm confusing myself. So let me close that. Did I read this? Yep. So let me let's go into these other scriptures here. What's this? Yes. Right. So I wanted to read the scripture, right? Because the sentiment is the Lord Yahweh Shai only experienced pain on the cross. That's the consensus when you hear from Christianity, when you hear from people that try to teach the scriptures, they'll say the passion was his being hung on the cross, but no, his passion was his whole life, and this is some of the proof of that, right? So this is Luke 2:49. It says, "And he said unto them, How is it that ye sought me? Wist ye not that I am must be about my Father's business?" Right. So if you understand the story, or if you know the story, um, he kind of stayed behind. I think it was, I can't remember for what. Yeah, let's read a little bit of this. Yep, the Passover. That's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure I was right. So Luke 2:41, it says, "Now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover. And when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast. And when they had fulfilled the days, as they returned, the child Yahushua tarried behind in Jerusalem, and Joseph and his mother knew not of it. But they, supposing him to have been in the company, went a day's journey, and they sought him among their kinsfolk and acquaintance. And when they found him not, they turned back again to Jerusalem seeking him. And it came to pass that after 3 days they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the doctors, Salakia, both hearing them and asking them questions. And all that heard him were astonished at his understanding and answers. And when they saw him, they were amazed. And his mother said unto him, Son, why hast thou thus dealt with us? Behold, thy father and I have sought thee sorrowing. And he said unto them, How is it that ye sought me? Wish ye not that I must be about my father's business? And they understood not the saying which he spake unto them, right? So he understood, even at this young age, who he was and what he was going to have to do. I must be about my father's business. I'm going to tell you, I've been 12, 13 years old before. This is a hell of a statement to make to your mother. What you mean you looking for me? Don't you know I'm supposed to be doing my father's work? Man, that's a hell of... Think about the time you was 12 and 13, man. That's a hell of a statement to make. And I remember being that age, and in hindsight, of course, I wish well, I shouldn't have been doing what I was doing anyway. So let me not say that. But my mother would say something to me, and we developed this thing where we was kind of, and it was jestful, right? And I would tell her, "Oh, shut up! You don't know what you're talking about." She would say something, I'll cut her off. "Shut up!" Right? And it was just me, exploring my masculinity, not not, I didn't know that at the time, right? But when you're a young boy, you starting to come into your own. And she got tired of it though, and she went to go tell my father. My father didn't like that very much, right? But even in that, right, I couldn't think to say this. Like, what you mean you was looking for me? You know what I mean? What you mean? Don't you know I'm supposed to be about my father's business? I couldn't think to even say anything like that to my mother. Still to this day, really. Well, I mean, I get on her now. Um, she won't. I won't tell her business, but I get on her now. But it's of course in respect, right? But at 13 to say that something like that, something as bold as that is powerful, man. So he understood at a very young age what his responsibility was, right? And why? Because it was written, right? Let's see. Let's see. Let's I'm gonna start at one. It says it's Isaiah 53 and 1. It says, "Who hath believed our report, and to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. He hath no form nor comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief." You see, this wasn't a just a one day thing. He said he was acquainted with sorrows and acquainted with grief, and we hid, excuse me, and we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he hath borne our griefs, right? What does that mean to have our griefs borne, right? Let's look it up in the English dictionary. Oops, what did I just do? What did I do? To participate, to bear, carried or transported by the thing, right? So he carried our griefs, and carried our sorrows. Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of the Most High, and afflicted, right? So imagine that, man. This is not something that just happened for one night. He had to do this, right? So imagine that. Well, he said, "Oh, my life sucks. My life sucks. I'm going through it right now." Like he was like, well, he was special, but you got men that say it as though they're the first person in Israel to ever experience pain. Like they're the first person in Israel to go through something. We got a young man in our camp who's been around since he was 12 or 13 years old, maybe even younger than that, and he would come out to listen. This at 12 years old, and I want people to understand this. At 12 years old, he was coming out with his older brother, who who probably was about 18, 17, 18 years old, maybe even a little older than that. Now that I'm thinking about it, and they would come out together. But even the days, let's say there would be snow on the ground, it'd be snowing, and his older brother wouldn't come. He would be standing right there waiting for us to come out. Young man, 12 years old, 12 years old, right? He didn't make excuses, or snowing, or my brother didn't come. He got himself on that train, and he came downtown to listen to us speak, man. Right? And now, right? He's a little older now, of course. He's 21 now, right? Got his driver's license, got a job, started working. He's a father now, right? Imagine him making excuses. And this is by American standards, this is a young man, a baby by American standards. But he didn't make excuses for himself. He even went through a situation where he had to get suspended, right? He took his suspension, right? And of course there were some things that went wrong, and he distanced himself from us for a little while. But in his distance, he came back a man. He didn't come back acting the same way. He didn't come back acting the same way. Like I said, he got his driver's license, had a job, was taking care of his child. They didn't make excuses. Oh, they kicked me out the camp, so I guess nah. He didn't make excuses. He pulled his pants up, he tightened his belt, and he kept pushing, man. You see? That's the example of the Lord Yahushua. It says this, but he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we were healed. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned every one to his own way, and the Lord hath laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed, and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shearers is dumb, so he openeth not his mouth. He was taken from prison and from judgment, and who shall declare his generation? For he was cut off of the land of the living, for the transgression of my people was he stricken. And he made his grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death, because he had done no violence, neither was any deceit in his mouth. I can't do this, I can't do that. Yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him. He hath put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed, he shall prolong his day, and the pleasure of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. He shall see of the travail of his soul, and shall be satisfied. By his knowledge shall my righteous servant justify many, for he shall bear their iniquities. That's it, man. Matter of fact, therefore will I divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he hath poured out his soul unto death, and he was numbered with the transgressors, and he bare the sin of many, and made intercession for the transgressors. That was what his father's business was. He didn't make excuses. And contrary to belief, he did not want to do it, but he did it. But if I die, how I'm gonna die for them? And they ain't even listening to me. He didn't make that excuse, right? Matter of fact, I think that's right here. This is Matthew 13:53. It says, and it came to pass that when Yahushua had finished these parables, he departed thence. And when he was come into his own country, he taught them in their synagogue, inasmuch that they were astonished, and said, whence hath this man this wisdom and these mighty works? Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary, and his brethren James and Joses, and Simon and Judas? And his sisters, are they not all with us? Whence then hath this man all these things? And they were offended in him. But Yahushua said unto them, a prophet is not without honor, save in his own country, in his own house. And he did not many mighty works there because of their unbelief, right? So they didn't even believe in him. Imagine that. You got this heavy burden on you, right? And you bringing this up to people, and you telling people who you are, right? And they like, man, this nigga, hey, he come again talking shit. Because he went to the synagogue, opened it up to a certain place in the scriptures, and read it, and then looked at the people and said, this that I just read is talking about me, and went and sat back down. And they look at him like, this nigga done lost his mind. To think about our people, how they act. Oh, this nigga talking about he the prophet. He's the Messiah. This nigga, he done lost his goddamn mind. That's the carpenter. Yeah, Joseph. Yeah, Joseph. The carpenter. Yeah, nigga, he fixed something in my house. That's his son. Nigga talking about yeah, that's how Jake act, man. That's how Jake act. They whispering and murmuring, and these are the people he had to die for. You don't think his life was set in grief? Especially, think about what type of reputation that would bring you, right? So every time they see, here come the Messiah, So yeah, his life wasn't easy. His life was not easy, man. But he made it through. And this is how he gets glorified, right? That's what people always they think they deserve glory. You don't deserve shit. You don't deserve shit. You deserve death is what you deserve. But by chance, right? By the life of Yahweh Shai, you have a chance to be glorified. But don't walk around like you just special. You don't deserve shit. And don't just say it. I don't know. You know it. Understand it. You don't deserve shit. I think that's it. Yeah. This is Philippians 2 and 5. It says, "Let this mind be in you, which was also in Hamashiach Yahushai, who being in the form of the Most High, thought it not robbery to be equal with the Most High, but made himself of no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant." Right? What do servants do? Right? Servants do the grunt work. Right? They don't. There's no time for complaining when you got the grunt work going on. The servants are the most busy. You complaining. You don't understand what passion is. You got Nick. You got people. Talking about. I got faith. Oh, do you? How do you have faith and you make an excuse for everything you can't do, or everything that you don't do? Well, let me say can't, because it's not even difficult things to talk about. Everything that you don't do, you got an excuse for, but you got faith? How? How do you measure it? What is your barometer of this so-called faith that you say you have? How do you measure it? But you got a reason for why you can't do this and you can't do that. My situation. I hate nigga. My situation. What's your situation? Is it different from the rest of us? You ain't special, man. All right, that's it. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem Rachab Radash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honor and salutations to the hopeful elect. With that, I say Shalom.